How you been?
I've been good. I've been good. Yep.
You look great.
Thank you. I feel good. I feel good.
I tell you something. Looking at you is enough. It's therapeutic enough. You can charge by, huh?
You know what I'm working on? I'm working on through meditation and keeping my heart open. Because when you close your heart, you cut off yourself from inner energy that you need. When you close your heart due to fear about something or anxiety about something, have you ever read this book, The Untethered Soul?
Hold on, hold it, let me take a picture.
It's a good one.
I heard of it, but I didn't read it. Who wrote it?
Michael Singer. It's about a lot of things. It's about getting in touch with being the consciousness, having the thoughts instead of being the thoughts themselves, like separating who you really are, the seat of your consciousness, from the brain activity, the thoughts, the craziness that goes on in your head. And it's also about keeping your heart open to the inner flow of energy. I've just been reading about it today.
Let me ask you. No, I say this to people on a daily basis. Open your heart, because it's closed.
That's what this last chapter was all about, keeping your heart open, because then you're open to positive energy flowing from inside, not from outside, but from inside.
But the question is, how does one, first of all, 90+% of people, when you tell them open your heart, they take insult to it, because
Yeah, they don't know what you mean, first of all, I don't think.
women kind of know, but to them it means that their heart is not open, so that's an insult.
Yeah.
Especially if you say,
But actually, most of us don't walk around with open hearts all the time. We defend ourselves by closing when there's something disturbing, you know?
I was telling this very interesting story to a 7-year-old, 6 or 7-year-old girl. She was with her mom and her grandma. So it came to my mind. There were these congregation of gods, and they were discussing what to do with humans, because they keep messing with love. They don't know what to do with it. They trample over it. They abuse it. They mistreat it. So they were discussing where to hide love from them. So one said, "Have you heard of it or no?"
I think so. I think I've heard this.
One said, "Go put it."
Hide it where they will never look, which is inside.
Inside, put it in their heart. Because one said, "Oh, up in the sky, down in the up in the mountain, down in the earth, or someplace in the cosmos." He goes, "Nah, they'll get there, and they'll mess it up. But if you put it in their heart, they're never gonna look there." That's why we have a heart. When we draw a heart, that means love. You know that sign, the heart sign? Hold on. Something happened to my headphones. 1 second. This is what happens. У меня те наушники начинают с ума сходить. Блин, так. Еще раз. 883-7952. 883-7952. 85. 16, 16. Что случилось? Это мой терапевт. Something happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Your audio was going in and out.
Because I think my headphones were in my pocket and the phone was getting confused.
Okay.
So how do you open the question becomes, never mind, I mean, I'm curious to learn for me and also to share with people, because that's been my thing, sharing with people. How do you open how do you open your own heart, or mine? How does one open his heart? What's the method?
I've been reading about it in this book, which is an interesting practice.
What's the symptom?
Accept it, relax, let it happen. Don't let it take you down a bad path. I mean, listen, easier said than done, but practice, I think, is probably the best answer to that.
You see, and correct me if I'm not understanding it, but I think I'm understanding it pretty well. The symptom of closing your heart is feeling negative. Any negativity means you're closing your heart.
Yeah, fear in particular, but any negativity.
But any negativity boils down.
Any fearful situation that happens where you feel out of control or out of, like, you close to it, and what you're doing is you're not changing the situation, you're just closing yourself to energy inside that could really kind of probably help you with the situation, whatever it is. So you practice opening. I'm not quite sure in a practical way what that looks like. I'm trying to wrap my head around it too.
I tell you how I've been doing it. Even like these last several days, I heard somebody say something very profound, and it turned my understanding quite a bit around. And once I know someone's saying something good is when it's hard and it starts bugging me. I know he's making some good points, because I get irritated, thinking I'm all that, thinking maybe I'm wrong, thinking bad. There's a good point in what he's trying to say. If I'm thinking, if it's hard for me to swallow, must be true.
You're closing, but you're closing when you have that reaction, that negative reaction to it.
Meaning that I have a certain limitation in me that is challenging me. That whoever's saying it, it's a challenge, because I'm like, whoa, that's so weak or something, or so difficult. They say, how do you know if the message is heavenly? There are signs and symptoms of a message being from heaven, meaning a very pure message, God-given. One, it's new, original, because he is very original. The other one, it seems very difficult.
Yeah.
Seems somehow very deep, difficult, and good one. You don't feel like you're ready for it.
Very true.
That's the one.
I know, I'm reading this on, well, you just practice opening your heart. I'm thinking, I can't do that, but I can do that. I believe I can if I stay mindful and I'm aware when a situation triggers the closing mechanism, which some things do for me. I'll tell you a stupid example, and I think I'm going to use it with this. When my technology is not doing what it should, my iPhone, my answering service, I have all these, you saw that I had a new number. That's because when I upgraded my phone, Google Voice, which is my answering service thing, changed my number and didn't tell me. Everybody has a new number. I don't even know what the number is. So people aren't getting messages to me, and it's just crazy. That makes me really anxious, and I get really fearful and negative, and so I close to that. I mean, it's a silly example, but I feel threatened by that. Like, I'm thinking, well, there's all this new business I could be getting, but I'm not getting the messages, so, they're taking money from me, It goes to a real emotional place for me. It's so silly, but so I practiced this last night. I was starting to feel that way. Michael really helps me, because he doesn't close about stuff like that. He's like, it's okay, you'll figure it out. Just open to the possibilities. And, so once I did that, I decided to give up Google Voice and all that and just have one cell phone and one number, and everybody can just call me on this number. I don't need a different number for my business than my regular. Why do I need a different number? I don't care. And it was like a perfect solution. So I'm going to be sending you soon the number you'll now get a hold of me on, which is my personal cell phone number, because so that way I don't have to, anyway, silly, I don't know if it's a silly example.
No, it's not silly at all.
To it, I got really anxious, and I got a stomachache last night. It started affecting me physically. Isn't that something?
It's not silly at all.
Yeah, it's a good example, because I just felt completely out of control. I felt under attack by Google Voice. I felt under attack by this technology that I don't understand and that I can't master and no one can help me with. So I thought, I won't close to that, I'll open. And
if I would love to share something with you, which I am sure you have thought of on here and there. Whenever we are, you're the first person who says this to people. Whenever we get overly concerned with seemingly minute or small things like this, it's usually a sign of something deeper that we don't either unaware or don't want to be aware, or maybe are aware. For example, if I right now can get irritated by some nonsense, something small, and become all worked up, you tell me, Abraham, this is really small. What's inside? And I'll tell you, because I've already done this exercise. Well, I'm by myself. These excuse my French, bitches are hiding all over the place. I haven't seen them 5 years. They keep trying to get my alimony. Is not a big deal. It's just a principle. So, and I've been, that's already a frustrating situation in and of itself.
Right.
Then I'm having difficult time getting through with my mom and dad, which I've been improving on in the last few days. Still, it's at my cost, because it's a challenge. Whatever, I'll get there. Then I'm meeting these women, dozen a day, sometimes 2 dozen, sometimes even 3 dozen. Even in Thailand, I'll tell you, I was in Thailand for 3 weeks.
I know you were.
Triple at 3 dozen a day. And I'll tell you what's alarming me. So I understand that my chances of meeting a woman in this society are extremely small. So yeah, a small little glitch in a computer may irritate me, but that. So question is, and I don't want to get inside of your, your world. That's unless you want me to. But there are clearly things that are inside of us that are so profoundly deep. Plus, I may be trying to be open as open as I can be. Something in the future may be worrying me that I don't even know. The future can be really concerning. For example, what if I stay this way till forever? What if I'm just by myself until I turn old and that's it? I mean, that's a very valid thought, because it can happen, and it's been happening. So then, I have plenty of reasons to be frustrated that are deep. There you go.
Well, I think my fear to answer your question, my fear of this technological mess up, because it's stupid. I mean, it'll be, but I think the deeper, I don't know if it's the deepest one, it goes back to fear of financial insecurity. Like I'm not going to have enough money. I'm not going to,
And let me tell you, and that's a deeper one.
Have money saved, all that fear about
Jamie,
that stuff.
Janie, that's a deeper. Obviously, that's a layer. You go on a layer deeper. But even then, most people who are really consciously concerned financially have never been in any financial challenge. It's that reason that keeps them from that predicament, is because they're very, very conscientious and very hardworking, diligent, disciplined. But that fear, again, maybe coming from the parents or grandparents, because some of them may have been in destitution. But you've never had any financial issues. You have a husband who's very financially stable. You are financially stable. Rationally speaking, you shouldn't have any financial worries.
But listen, we crashed and burned about 18 years ago and lost every penny we had. So, we haven't had a lot of time to build back up with money. We don't have very much money in the bank.
Let me
That's
ask
for
you
sure.
something. Let me ask you. You and Michael, that happened to you, you and him?
Yep.
What made that happen?
Drugs.
Oh! No, that was voluntary. That you
Yeah, I mean, we made it happen. We blew all our money on.
you
yeah.
did it. You were enjoy in yourself. I did the same thing. I wouldn't call crash and burn. I just completely unloaded. I call it like that. I unloaded. I said, you know what? Let's go. Because shit's hitting the fan. Let's do this. I'm getting fired, so be it. I'm getting to rehab, be it. I have no money, something will come up.
Right.
And it did.
Right.
I was down 70, 80,000 in debt. From 2 years prior, having over $1 million in the bank with
Same thing with us. Same
with
thing with us.
yeah, with real estate, how do you say, equity in my house, yeah, and having a Maserati and having to being broke in debt with no job on the beach.
Us too. Michael was out of a job too for a while.
So
he
you
got
both
back, but-
both did this, huh?
Yeah.
How was that? I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, I've never shared that part of my story with you, but it was about 20 years ago, 18 years ago. You know, he stopped doing surgery, and he didn't work for a year and a half. And coming back from all the craziness, and he found a really good gig where he's the most overqualified optometrist you'd ever meet. He's doing it. They pay him a good amount of money for working 20 hours a week, but
You mean even now?
right now, yeah. But he's going to have really extensive back surgery soon, so that's on my mind. You know, it's just a lot of stuff. Not my session, yours, but I got some
No.
stuff
I
on my
love this. I love this because it's very healing to hear this in many ways. I keep telling you, you just being you being your how do you say in English? There's a word, traviesa is mischievous. A little. I don't want to use the word stubborn because that's too crude. You're not stubborn. You're way more suave than stubborn. Stubborn is a very crude, very crude energy. You're suave about your. But I could be of some use for his back. I have ways to heal that you can't even like him. I've been healing myself. I mean, I stand as a living proof that I am in the situation coming from a pretty messed up suicidal depression, having lost a lot of things that people can't imagine even losing even a little bit. I practically gave up on the idea of ever seeing my kids, and I made peace. And I made
huge loss.
it's the biggest evolutionary loss a person can sustain.
Yeah.
Evolutionarily, I am my evolutionary path has been devastated because I have lost my progeny, my offspring, and
Right.
not only lost them like in the beginning of their life. No, I invested a lot and lost,
Yeah.
and I'm good,
Yeah.
and I love it. As much as a person can love something like that, I love it. I bless every day that I lost them because that's a challenge for me. The day upstairs, whoever the directory, the lady in charge of, I think it's a lady, she wants me tested. I say, go ahead. You need me to be tested. I'm all here. I'm all here for you. Test me, challenge me. She must be interested in me. That's the saying. So I wish I could speak to Michael because he's under stress. You know it, I know it. His stress and his immune system is not letting, plus he's not 25 anymore. My grandpa, I was just in New York 2 days ago. Oy.
How's your grandpa?
He's getting a little frail. He's 99
Wow.
and he I want you to hold your breath and hear the good news. A month ago, he confided in me that he still sleeps around a little bit.
I love it.
A little bit. In January, technically he was 98 in 11 months. He says, I wanted to see if it's still working. It's working. I say, Grandpa, I told you it's working. I see the energy.
That's funny. I have a patient in his 90s who is still very sexually active and has a new girlfriend. He's 90. How old is her? 90, I don't know, 94, something like that.
And how old is she?
How old is this guy that I'm talking about?
He's 94, and how old is she?
She's 78, something like that.
Can I tell you some other story that's even slightly different, very graphic, and I'll try to be very, I'll try to purify it as much as possible. So I got people here on my beach, is a little community, and there's this old, the old guards, as we call them in old guards in Russian, we call like the old army. In other words, the men who are like in their 70s and 80s. Some of them are hardcore, like some of them were like a little mafia, a little bit of some stuff. This one guy, I'm not gonna say his name, because he told me don't spread, because he has a reputation to uphold in the neighborhood. So he's 84. If you see him, he looks maybe like, I'd say maybe late 60s, early 70s. You can tell, but he's in a great shape. He's very muscular. He was a pretty accomplished boxer in his day, very accomplished, a champion of some republic. And when he gives me a handshake, it makes that crumbling sound. He has like a vice for a hand. He's strong, very strong. I can feel it. He's just like and he's a little shorter than I, maybe like 5'7", but just a very powerful. He keeps walking fast on the beach every day. So he told me, he says, Abraham, check this out, because he shares. He's got a lady in, I think it's maybe late 50s or early 60s, some 20, 25 years younger. He always has some ladies, but he has a steady one. He says, listen to this, listen to this. I met this lady, 50 years old. I bend her over. I gave it to her. You can't imagine. I gave it good. And I put my finger up her ass. And I wrote, and I say, he goes, I love that. I want to put a finger, you imagine, so she was basically in a doggy style. He says, and the way he said it, I'm like, when he said it the way he said it, only he can say it like that. And he showed me with the finger. He goes with the thumb, with the.
Show and tell.
And I tell other men, they burn 84 years old, mind you. I mean, coming from somebody who's young, middle-aged, whatever. It's a great story. Good luck.
Yeah,
enjoy it.
Absolutely.
But from an 84-year-old with the fervor, with the zest, with the panache.
That's pretty cool.
Remarkable. So,
yeah.
So then I started telling people, and then because in front of him I said to someone, he goes, listen, stop it, because I have this other one. Then they're gonna spread the rumors. I can't. Shh.
You have to be quiet about this, right?
He goes, I'm not like you. I got this one. I want to keep her, because when she finds out, she's gonna run. 84 years old. Now my grandpa, since I started spreading the word, because that's really remarkable, 99.
That's remarkable.
Remarkable. When I started talking about this on my YouTube, all men are like exulting. It's a very celebratory thing. Women, not so much.
No, not so much.
They don't really celebrate. It's so what? It's not all about that. I say,
It's different.
It's different. They get jealous. Now he's denying it now.
Yes.
He says, I never said that. Yeah, because I said, let's tell mom, let's tell mama, your daughter. He goes, do not. Because you tell her it's going to be a big headache. No, never happened. He goes, I tell you something, you go, you tell everyone. I said, but this is something I'm proud of. People need to know that it actually is not a theory. It actually happens. To be 99. To beat me in chess. I beat him. Now I squeaked one game past him. I beat him, but it wasn't easy. And he's forgetful because he doesn't play, and I had to keep him because he doesn't see. He gets distracted by, I guess his thought process is a little bit, slow.
It may be slowing down.
But because he doesn't do it. I say, Grandpa, you gotta keep doing it, but he has no one to play with. Somebody like my brother has to come maybe like 2-3 times a week and just play with him, just so he keeps. Because he doesn't have that. He's a very proud man. He hates losing, but he's humble. So he fought me, like this game, he was down a lot. Usually people give up. He kept fighting until he said, okay, you got me. Because I was up, like half the pieces were taken. I took half of his pieces, little by little. But he needs to practice. He's been a while. He's 99. And then I could see a glimpse, because he's a better player than I. Just in general, he has a better vision. And I'm a big fan of chess. I've been playing chess all my life, and I'm a good amateur. I mean, I can hold my own. Even people who competed, I can do a little bit. I'm not a competitive chess player, but I can do a lot. And I've read a lot of literature. I know a lot of chess. So this guy, I can see he has a vision that's it's higher than I. Even last game we played, the most recent one 2 days ago, I see that he sees stuff I don't see.
Yeah.
Crazy guy, 99.
That's awesome.
I wish I can talk to have you mentioned any idea like that to Michael? Maybe he's just not open, I don't know.
You know what, he's going to have surgery. He is. We're going to go down and talk to the surgeon on Friday. We've got a good team at University of Miami, so he's going to be in good hands.
What's his challenge? What is
his back he has stenosis in his back, and it's pressing on his spinal cord, and it's shooting pain down his legs. So they're going to do a decompression. They're not going to do. The first guy suggested a multi-layer laminectomy and fusion, and we're not going to do that, but they're going to decompress it so it's not pressing on his. He's going to Frank Eisman. He's like the head of it. I mean, he trained everybody down there. So I think we're in good hands.
So you made that decision. So God bless.
Yeah. We've talked to so many doctors and tried everything else. So, yeah. So we're going to do it. I'm going to go down there with him on Friday and listen to the doctor and ask questions and try to be supportive.
But and I'm going to say a few things from a purely biological standpoint. As a biologist talking to a biologist, we are healthcare professionals, so we understand the physiology. There is some physiology inside us. So, so my methods, among just being healthy and exercising, like for example, I haven't eaten, so I eat once a day. By the way, coffee's gone. So
You told me that. That's so awesome. I've cut way back. I have 1 cup in the morning. I stopped drinking it during the day. I stopped too. It's better. And I'm doing intermittent fasting, which is nice. I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat till middle of the day, and I'm eating less, and I feel better.
As long as, see for ladies, and I want to make sure I go back to what I was saying. For ladies, I'm learning based on ancient Hindu literature. It's called Vedas. Those Vedic teachings, they're pre-Buddhistic, pre-biblical, very hardcore, very chakra is they're chakra based, very interesting energy, understanding of energy. They say for ladies to do they call it ascetic. In other words, to be ascetist, to really force like a Spartan way, warrior like. It's more for males. obviously. So if a lady starts, doing a lot of exercise and like runs or does a lot of fasting, it may be not as beneficial for her because it's going to make her harder and more stoic. It's going to give her some male energy. So they warn ladies not to do too much of the hard stuff. Little sweet, little honey. That
Yeah, okay.
you got, because ladies got to be nice and beautiful and
Yeah.
But I was going to mention my therapy, aside from just being healthy and, eat well, plenty of water, exercise. One thing that I find therapeutic is a second chakra, is a sexual chakra. I recommend to people, if they get a therapist or two for some therapy that is carnal therapy, it's an extremely healing experience. Now, obviously, it does not harmonize with marriage.
Not exactly.
And believe it or not, when I offer it, like when a couple asks me, like, what should we do? Like, how does my man, he seems like he's not having energy. He's drinking, he's smoking. So I tell her and him, sometimes both, I say, look, if you get him a young honey, he will do better. Just as a lover, just for, once a month or once a couple of times a month. A lot of ladies, believe it or not, are very open to at least discussion. Men, run away.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
It's a very reverse kind of a logic.
Yeah.
I think because
I know a lot of women who would probably be happy to introduce another woman into their marriage to satisfy their husband.
the ones who really are cognizant of how much energy, how revitalizing this is, it's indescribable. My own ex-wife used to tell me, look at you. You must be banging someone outside, because the way you gave it to me now, I think I've mentioned it to you. It's a very famous story that I remember. I'm not making it up at all. It sounds like maybe I am, but I'm not. I remember even where it was in a place, in a house, where she came to me like this after my night shift in the ICU. And I just met this beautiful Nicole, who was a lovely Italian from Pittsburgh, nurse, strong, beautiful 31-year-old, just strong, beautiful lady with 3 dogs. And every time before I went home, since I was not accounted for until like 1 or 2 p.m., I could be sleeping. And where I'm sleeping, nobody knows. I slept over Nicole. And it was that post-call being a little woozy because I didn't have a good night's sleep. Obviously, I was working. And then that wooziness with beautiful sexual encounter, I come home a little woozy, and then I had another maybe hour or 2 next to Nicole. I'm like all energy. And now there's this beautiful wife of mine who was 35 at the time, who just gave birth to our youngest daughter. She's sexy as a sexy can be. I love her. Ooh, I'm all fired up. She goes, I know, I feel it, and I like it, keep doing it. I just don't want to know. And when she told me that, keep doing it. I don't want to know what it is, but keep doing it. I like it. I'm like, am I blessed or what?
Yeah.
I have a model for a wife, 4 kids, who gave me, who loves my children. She breastfeeds them, and she loves me. She lets me. That's just a true love of a woman. And one of the symptoms of true love is letting her man be free. Never confine him. That's a sign of love. Sacrifice, because it's not easy. So that to me is, and she felt my energy crazy. So I don't know if that's something that Michael will be in tune for.
I don't know.
But I think you're more in tune to it than he. At least I feel so.
So how are things with your parents? Let's go back
So I'll share this proudly. I had this guy. I wish you met this guy, but I don't think he speaks that much English. He's a guy who is a somewhat of a guru or he's a teacher, a master, pretty well known in Russia. People know him. I have had an honor to speak to him like this for I paid over $1,000 for 2 hours of a torture back and forth. Like we were like drilling each other's brains because I had to go at him too.
I'm glad you found him. Yeah, good.
Tremendous. I have 2 videos with him that I recorded. He goes, yeah, record away, do it. The guy is a tremendous guy, and I'll tell you a couple of things. He's a tremendous guy. So he teaches this in one of his. He has many lectures on YouTube. You should put some lectures on YouTube. He says, if you want someone to change, especially adults, if you go at it headstrong, they will not. They just cannot do it. It's just not physiologic. What you got to do is open your heart and love. Especially, he says to women, if you want your men to change, we are so strong-headed. We can't, by definition, we're warriors. We know. You don't tell me what to do. I know. Directions, I ain't asking nobody. I know where I'm going.
Right.
Honey, where are we going? So he goes, become loving. First step in changing someone, accept him the way he is.
Absolutely. Brilliant.
Easier said than done.
That is the first step.
Easier said than done. Accept him. Be good to him. Be nice to him. Love him. Try to support him as best as you can, as long as it's not so destructive. But even drinking it and smoking, even then, just try to be there. Don't drill him, oh, quit drinking or I'm gone.
Yeah.
Try to be supportive. Try to do your part. Try to be athletic and go to the gym and be healthy. And if you're open and loving and giving him a lot of love, then he will intuitively absorb that and change. He has no choice. He will never.
100%.
It'll force him to, because love does that. So I did this with my parents. I'm like, damn, that shit is hard. It is hard.
I know it's hard.
So I call him. This is, I think, date number 3 or 4. And especially, and the other guy, I had another meeting with another guy. He says, listen, you don't even worry about your dad. Dad is following your mother. Everything is in your family, but in most families.
You've always known that.
So the epicenter of the whole, the center of your family, the core, the matriarch is she.
Yes.
It's in every family, but specifically in yours because that's a really, really strong woman. So no one's gonna change unless she changes.
Yes, yeah.
So I try this thing. I call her and I say it like this. Ma, I love you. Say, I'm sorry. It sounds even a little idiotic because it's so out of place, because she's like yelling at me and cursing me, you know, F you this, fuck you that. I say, Ma, I'm sorry if I said something. I don't mean to argue with you. I know I feel the pain. You feel the pain. Let me call you maybe later today or tomorrow. But I want to call you. She goes, why are you calling me? I say, I call you because you're my mother. And I want to tell you that I love you no matter what. There's
That's awesome.
but I already rehearsed. I just say it, and I'm in the role. But it's true. I'm not lying. I do love her.
I know it's true.
Okay, so superficially there's a lot of hate. It's superficial. Deep down there's only love.
Right.
Hate, by the way, it's a beautiful way of thinking. All the negativity is all superficial. Down, if you undig all this, it's going to be open heart and love. There's no hate. We were born to love, and we have love as our base emotion. Just like kids, they don't know hate until they learn. So I keep saying, she goes, don't ever call. I don't want you calling me. I say, Ma, I will call you because when will you stop? I say, I'll never stop because until I'm alive, I'll call you because you're my mother. Why?
And I love
So you know what her reaction is? This is very surprising to me in a way, but not really. She starts crying.
Oh, wow.
And these are good tears. These are tears that are not like from the being capricious. No, no. It hurts because now she's opening.
Now she's open. She's opened up and she's not protecting herself anymore.
But when she's trying to open,
beautiful.
she's trying to open through that pain, it hurts. That's why she cries. We cry because we like, sometimes I choke up on a poem or on a song.
Yeah,
or,
me too.
Because I open and it hurts because it hurts to love.
Yes, yes.
And that's the I feel like I was talking about when I'm paddling. I was in Thailand and I just had this bitterness. I say, oh, my dad this, my mom this. I say, wait a second. Let me say something good about there's a lot of things I can say that they did great. And I started talking and I started remembering my dad when I was 3-4 years old, how he taught me how to ride a bike. That choked me up.
Yeah, I bet.
He was holding me. I was 6. I remember like it was now. And he kept, because I kept falling, you know. But he wanted me to have that feeling, the balance. And that's that trick. Like I did with my son. He goes, Dad, how do you explain? I said, Sam, you are very smart to ask me to explain. I can't explain. There is that leap of faith where explanations stop, feeling starts. You feel it. How do I feel? I say, how you feel it? You keep paddling, you hold the wheel, and I'll hold you a little bit, but once you feel that balance, there's no explaining, you feel it. And damn, I want to understand, because they can't understand. It's that feeling of open heart, like the swimming, like the riding a bicycle. Because it's scary too, because you fall and you drown and you choke on water. So it's that feeling when you start floating and swimming, say, aha moment.
Yeah.
So that's what happened, and I started talking about my dad holding me from behind. I didn't give too much thought to it then. I'm only 6. I came home, I was ecstatic. I said, Mama, it was a grandma, I think was home, or somebody was home. I remember I was like on the 7th heaven. I said, Ma, I got this I was riding a bicycle the first time today. I'm like for real. This is it. I'm the adult now. I remember this.
Beautiful story. Wow.
It choked me up.
Well, that's a lot. You've done some good work there.
Beautiful. I'm learning. I mean, I never realized what it is that makes us cry with these tears of joy, we call them. It's joy, but it's pain. It's joy through.
Yeah. I mean, I cry much more. I don't cry that much over sad, tragic things. I cry more when it's so beautiful and so open and I don't know. It's painful. Yeah, I know. Exactly what
And you
mean.
feel
It's
so
hard to
beautiful.
describe,
The music does that to me. Poetry.
Me too. Music does that to me too.
There was a movie. I don't want to hold you. I'll tell you this one little thing. I wish you to see this movie. I'll text it to you. You'll see what I was talking about. There is a moment. So the movie called Cinema Paradiso. Maybe you saw it. It's like 25 years old. It's Italian, but it's with subtitles.
I've heard of it.
Cinema Paradiso. Very simple movie about a kid who grew up in a small little Italian town post World War II. Dad got killed. And he grew up to be a famous producer, famous director. Because he started helping this guy, a movie guy in his little village, show movies in a movie. Yeah, he was a camera guy in a movie theater. And then there was a famous actor who played, it was like he was just like a father figure to him. So back then, it was 1950s, Italy, very Catholic. They had a priest come in and censor movies, so cut all the provocative, episodes. They cut it and they splice it. So that's what they used to do. And those cut little, those cut pieces, they store it in a box. All those were beautiful kisses.
And that's cool. I have to check that.
So the guy passed, when he became like in his 40s, became famous. He went back because they called him, the guy passed away. So he came to say goodbye. He never went back after the guy told him, get out, go to Rome. you're gonna be a star. Don't ever come back. I don't want you here. This is a dump. There's no future here. So he did what he said, but then he obviously, he missed him. So he took that box back and he spliced all that
together. Yeah. That's beautiful.
And at the end, there's the very powerful music, and all you see is just men and women kissing.
That's nice. All right, my dear.
Listen.
Well, it's a good note to end on.
There's a kiss.
We have to do this again soon.
I love you. Say hi to Michael. Good luck with everything.
I will. Thank you.
And I wish to say hi to him one day. One day I'm making you dinner. Maybe, when I'm going to be out of this program, check this out. You coming right here. I'm cooking you dinner. Put that on your
That would be awesome.
Put that on your calendar.
Okay, I will. All right, love.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I'll talk to you
Talk
soon.
to you soon.
Bye-bye. Это человек. Это человек. Моя Психея. Хорошая женщина. О, песенку сыграть надо, ж песенку. Нет, неправильно. О! Нет. Блин, неправильно. Переход тональность другую. И на без сомнения вдруг коснется ваших глаз, и хорошее настроение не покинет больше вас. Очи черные, очи. Осторожно, осторожно. О. Очи страстные, очи жгучие и прекрасные. Пальцы не двигаются. Как люблю я вас, как боюсь я вас, знать видел вас я в недобрый час. Ла-ла-ла-ла, ла-ла-ла-ла-ла. На канале «Формула любви».